Hi guys, my name's Tom. I'm here at Great West Equipment in the Vernon branch, and today we're going to have a walk around this Sennebogen 830E. We'll take a walk around the machine and have a look at some of its functions and features. To begin, we're going to open this large compartment door. It's one door and it opens the compartments behind the cab. It's held open by pneumatic gas struts, and we can easily close it by pulling this strap. It gives us easy access to all of the components here behind the cab. This cabinet is immediately behind the cab. Inside this cabinet, we have remote test ports for checking the hydraulic pressures throughout the hydraulic circuit. This component right here is the automatic lubrication for the swing gears. There is a large panel right here that can be easily removed, and behind it we can see the pilot circuit and the electro-hydraulic valves. You can also see right at the very top there's the main control valve and other hydraulic components. Towards the rear of the machine, we have the def tank and the fuel tank, which are both easily accessible, which make it fast and clean to fill. Beside that, we have the auto lubrication. This one is for the pins and bushes in the equipment. Right behind there, we have the HydroClean, which is a 3-micron filter, and it's serviceable from the top of the machine. Beside there, we have some electrical controllers, which include the controllers for the hydraulic system and for the Centrac telematics. Now we're going to talk about the electrical cabinet. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you that the batteries are right above the electrical cabinet and they're accessed from the top of the machine. Below the electrical cabinet, we have these switches right here, which are the main breakers for the main electrical components on the machine. The switch on the right is an electronic battery disconnect switch. We've now moved away from those old style switches and we actually have a button. That allows the ECUs to boot down in sequence, and it allows the DEF system in the engine to drain properly before the next startup. Looking inside the electrical cabinet, we can see that all the fuses and relays are labeled and easy to find. There are part numbers on all of the relays. On the right side of the cabinet, we can see that these are red toggle switches. These are to be used in case of an emergency, so that we can recover the machine safely and move it to a safe area in the event of an electrical failure. We have a diagnostic connector for the Cummins engine, which allows us to access that ECU easily without having to climb into the engine bay. Located around the machine are 24-volt sockets, and that allows us to use the LED flashlight that comes with the machine. We can connect to the sockets and we can now light up the cabinets during our morning checks. On both sides of the machine, we have large lockable tool cabinets. Inside there, we can keep our tooling, components, and accessories, like a grease gun, or pins, or hydraulic caps and plugs for the attachments. Looking on the right side of the machine, we're now in the pump and the engine bay. In this area, we're going to see a lot of service points. I can see the fuel filter here with a water trap. I can see that there is a fan charge filter. I can see the hydraulic tank level. There's going to be some electronic valves inside here, and they're going to be used to control the pump. So the pump has got two functions, the hydraulic functions for GLR and Opti-mode. The GLR is load limit regulation, and that just prevents the engine from bogging down, so we get peak horsepower and performance from the engine, and we get smooth hydraulic controls all the time. The Opti-mode function is going to change the differential pressure on the pump and change how the pump behaves. So that means if the operator needs to operate fast, or if he wants smooth, slower, finessed motions, he can do that. And he's got 4 different settings, so he can have the best of both worlds. We have the cooling pump in here as well, which is a bi-directional pump. These machines are going to come as standard with an automatic reversing fan. That's going to keep the cooling pack nice and clean. The engine mounts are special design with the foam in the doors here, so when you're operating the machine, it's very quiet and it's very comfortable. Right below this panel right here is a remote boost point. Should the batteries discharge, we can easily access this point right here and get the machine up and running in no time at all. At the top of this cabinet is the SCR system. We can access that from the top, but we can see it down here at the bottom also. The machine has got a large and very efficient cooling pack. We have a large charge air cooler, radiator, hydraulic oil cooler, and air conditioning condenser. The cooling pack is kept clean by the automatic reversing fan, but if we need to, we can swing out the condenser and blow that out separately. Safety and asset protection is a priority. All of the Sennebogen machines are going to come with pipe fracture valves. That's going to hold the equipment in the air in the event of a hydraulic hose failure. That's going to keep the operator safe and anyone working around the machine safe, until an authorized mechanic can come out, repair the machine and get you up and running. We're now above the machine. The handrails right now are set up for transport, but ordinarily they would be all around the outside for safety. Right here we have more service points, like the air filter. Lifting this cover, we now have access to the top of the engine, so we can make adjustments to the belt and top up the engine oil. Hydraulic adjustments can be easily made by removing this cover right here, exposing the main control valve. That gives us good access to replace hoses and make any adjustments that we need to any of the hydraulic circuits. At the base of the boom and at the end of the boom on the stick, we have limitation switches. We use those to protect the cab, the machine, and the surrounding area from how high the boom can raise, lower, and the stick can extend and retract. By adjusting these limit switches, we can change how far the stick can extend and retract, or how far the boom will raise and lower. We can spec the machine to suit your application, with different boom and stick configurations of 14 meters to 17 meters, with the option to include a cylinder for the attachment, making it a really versatile machine. With excellent ground clearance and a lockable oscillating axle, the machine has excellent traction. There is also an option to have a single or a dual transmission, which means increased torque, allowing the machine to tow up to 100,000 pounds. The Sencon is the interface between the operator and the machine. This is where the operator is going to see all the information on his machine, including engine speeds, fuel and depth level, and temperature for the engine and the hydraulic system. He can make changes to the machine, including turning on the engine auto idle function, turning on or off the eco mode, and changing the level of his opti mode. Other changes can be made to the greasing system interval and the automatic reversing fan interval. We can also run manual cycles if necessary. At the bottom of the Sencon display, we can see diagnostic information on the machine, including any error messages that we see or inputs and outputs from the controllers. We can look at the machine hardware and software information. And we can also change any of our settings, including language settings and units and brightness in the display. The last setting that we can change is the grapple speed, and that's going to be down to the operator's preference. The cab is hydraulic elevating with a panoramic view all around. The machine also has a camera on both sides and at the rear, so the operator has a really good view around his machine at any given time. In the event of an electrical failure, there is a backup here by means of 2 emergency switches so that we can still control the hydraulic circuits to get the machine moved safely. The machine controls are comfortable and ergonomic. Right beside me, easily to reach, are the switches to operate the swing brake. We have the low or automatic high-low speeds. Right here we have the lock for the oscillating axle, and right here we have the hitch lock. Above me, to my right, we have another control panel. On this control panel we have more conventional switches, for example our work lights and our wiper switches. Our signal lights also. There is a switch right here to run a grease cycle on our swing gears, the diesel heater, and an optional switch here to control the layout of my controls. There's a switch here for the grapple control. The grapple control is a feature on the machine where if we hold our grapple closed on a load, we're going to reduce the pressure in the circuit and we're going to block the LS signal from our grapple circuit. And what that's going to do is that's going to improve our speeds on the other controls, for example swing, boom and stick. Thanks for watching. My name is Tom. If you have any questions on the Sennebogen product, please reach out to your local dealer or check out our website.